Saturday presents, in the red corner, the undisputed, undefeated Weed Whacker Guy. Champion of hurling grass and pollen everywhere. And in the blue corner, the challenger, extra strength Saturday. Eye drops that work all day to prevent the release of histamines that cause itchy allergy eyes. And the winner by knockout is Saturday. Saturday, bring it on.
Put down that smartphone and listen to me. I'm Matthew Milligan, professional musician and lifelong Weird Al fan. Each week, I'm joined by professional podcaster and close personal friend Matt Kelly to take a dive off the deep end into the vast career of pop culture icon Weird Al Yankovic on our show, Weird Algorithm. Along with some very special guests from the worlds of music and comedy, we tackle every song, every television appearance, and every bit of sketch comedy Al has produced in chronological order, covering the good old days of My Bologna and Eat It, the fun zone of tacky and white and nerdy, and everything in between. As we go, we're ranking the songs, albums, and music videos in the hopes of creating the ultimate guide to a career bigger than the biggest ball of twine in Minnesota. So the next time you're having one of those days, stuck in a traffic jam, wondering why does this always happen to me, just kick off your sneakers and stick around for a while because we've got it all on Weird Algorithm, available wherever you get your podcasts. And now you know. Was that enough references?
Meanwhile, in New Jersey...
So, Marissa, what talking points do you want to hit on in this week's episode?
Well, Jackie, let's talk about how the film addresses the patriarchy. Ooh, and representation of marginalized people. Ooh, and even philosophical ramifications of good versus evil in horror.
We can point out the triangle boobs, talk about the blood splatter, and the practical effects. And also the male gaze.
My gaze at the males.
Hi-yo! From feminism to fangirling, the Jersey Ghouls cover all the bases of horror from a woman's perspective.
New episodes are uploaded every other Sunday.
Just search Jersey Ghouls to find us on social media and your favorite podcasting app.
Everybody, welcome to another episode of Horror Movie Night. This week, we're talking about 1998's Blade, a movie that I'm pretty sure we sat on for a long time saying, we'll wait until the new Blade movie comes out, and then it dawned on us that this movie is probably never, ever coming out.
No.
Yeah, well, you know, it's okay because we did get Blade in, in Deadpool and Wolverine, which was one of the better parts of that very lackluster film.
Yep. We got that. We also got Blade in a famous episode of What We Do in the Shadows, where all of the famous vampires gathered around for a vampire council.
I feel like Blade is ripe for an animated series. Was there a Blade animated series?
That is shocking if there wasn't.
Idea.
There was a Blade TV series that aired around the same time as this movie franchise.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah.
Who was in it? Who was Blade?
I remember.
I'm trying to remember who played Blade, but I remember it was I think it was produced between Blade 1 and Blade 2. There was like an FX show. Let me see right now. I'm going to look it up. Looking it up, typing my fast little fingers. Blade the series, which shared the continuity with the Blade trilogy. 13 episodes produced in 2006.
All
and
right,
the
Patreon
actor who played Blade...
Sticky Fingers!
Sticky Fingers from Onyx.
From what?
Hell yeah.
Onyx, the rap group Onyx.
Oh, yeah, you say
They
that
did
like
Slam.
I'm...
Slam! Da-da-da, da-da-da, let the boys be boys.
Wow.
You might remember it from...
I have no idea what that is.
Sorry, I thought you might know it from the Biohazard cover.
For being a vegan metalhead, I don't think I've ever actually listened to a Biohazard song. So you know what's funny is that when you look up Sticky Fingers, his IMDb says he was in Blade Trinity. Is that real?
Wow. Passing the torch?
Man, I did not know that. I do see here that he was discovered by Jam Master Jay, which is a big deal.
Blade Trinity, huh?
Dude,
My God.
Blade Trinity is a bad fucking movie. But I mean, I feel like
it is.
we're watching and we watched and discussed arguably the best Blade movie. And I mean, like, and I think that I'm even being a revisionist by saying that Blade is a good movie. That's my nostalgia talking, because when it came out in 98, I remember being under fucking whelmed. I loved it until the last fight, and then I was like, this is too much. But then give me, 20 plus years of Disney controlling Marvel and making movies of favorite comic book characters, and I just look at this with a lot more love.
Dude, this is my first time watching Blade.
Oh wow,
And,
really?
Yeah, I had a lot of fun watching it, but I also can see where it can sort of fall in like 98 and even beyond that, like even upon like revisiting, where it really might. I mean, it hit really great for me, but I went in with zero expectations on Blade, and I had a lot of fun.
Here's the thing that's important to remember is like this was the first good Marvel movie adaptation, I think. Ever.
Well, I mean, what did they have before that they really had to go on? They had that abhorrent Captain America movie from like, what is that, 89?
89, and then the sequel from 94, and then you had the never released Roger Corman Fantastic Four movies.
That doesn't count.
Like,
that does not count, sir.
Yeah, there was nothing, and this, I think what's impressive about this movie, and it can kind of get lost in a lot of things, right? Like, this is not up to the standard that later MCU and Marvel movies would be held to, but this was easily the first time that a Marvel film adaptation wasn't treating the source material like a complete fucking joke. Like, it
honestly,
actually
this
was
is a
like,
pretty
no, we're going to do this
good...
right and seriously.
Yeah, like, and I feel like while this movie is dated, and I don't know if it truly follows like Blade and Deacon Frost's trajectory by the late 90s, when you watch it, I mean, maybe my expectations were a little different when I was in fucking high school, but now I'm an adult man and I'm like seeing it as pages in a comic book, and it works. Like it works so well for me. I mean, this is not the second time I've watched this movie. This isn't even the third time I've watched this movie. It's probably the sixth time I've watched this movie, and I will watch it again. I say so many times on this show, like, this is my last watch. Definitely not for Blade. I'm just being completely transparent here. I wouldn't say that this movie deserves awards, but it is so satisfying to watch.
I feel like it could be a little bit shorter. Like the 2-hour runtime is a bit much. But Scott, did you look into who directed this movie?
Yeah, Stephen Norrington, which is hilarious because he is not known as much for his directorial work, but he has done some fucking great stuff that we have discussed, including, which I believe was my pick, Death Machine from 94.
Yeah, that was his directorial debut.
Yeah, this is his directorial debut. The funnier thing about Stephen Norrington, though, is that he plays Gump in Return to Oz. Like, and he was actually more known for special effects, visual effects, than his. I mean, he also directed League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, which is a shit fucking movie. That was such a funny movie because, like, it was the popularity of Alan Moore's comic book work directly correlates with the fact that movie got greenlit, because they were like, we just need another property, and they were probably like, here, you can have League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. They get Sean fucking Connery, and then they get Stephen Norrington to direct it, and because he directed Blade, right? Like because he was a known quantity for 5 years previously doing a successful comic book adaptation, and it just doesn't work at all. And it has the same problem, my friends. It is way too fucking long.
It's long. That movie was long.
But he's also another one of those classic cut his teeth in special effects before he became a director. So he worked with Stan Winston and Rick Baker and Dick Smith. Like, he worked with the holy trinity of horror special effects people before he, like, rolls in and starts doing his own directing stuff. So, like, that alone, pretty solid, like, pedigree that he's got. But yeah, I mean, this movie, it's funny because this is not a movie I watch that often. I remember, like any child in 1999, when I was able to rent this movie because, you know, it was R-rated and I was 13, so I had to wait for the Blockbuster to get it so I could see it, that there are iconic moments that are burned into my brain, and then there's the rest, right? So, like, there's, like, the blood rave I always think about. The giant...
That's peak new metal cinema.
Yes.
Like,
for sure.
That is top tier.
I think that Mortal Kombat walked so that the Blood Rave could run, you know?
100%. And like, I still do. I don't know why I'm saying had, like I got rid of it. I definitely downloaded this New Order, like 12-minute long instrumental track that plays during the Blood Rave back in my Napster days. But
hell yeah.
Like,
I'm turning you in.
Yeah, I mean, that's like it's an incredible way to start this movie in the most 1998 way humanly possible, which is a rave filled with vampires and blood spilling on innocent bodies.
It's just so my shit, dude. It
And
was just
Traci
so my
Lords.
shit.
Yes.
Traci fucking Lords.
Love it.
Oh, my lords.
Nice. Man, we are full of puns today.
Yeah.
You know what else
But the
is
only
just-
other thing
Go
I
ahead.
remembered about this movie was the overweight vampire that
Oh, you
he
mean
eventually like
Mojo?
visits. Yes,
literally
looks exactly
Mojo.
like Mojo. What the?
When I first saw this movie, I was far more familiar with Mojo because loving the X-Men as a kid in the 80s. But I saw whatever that character's name is. I should have written it down. Pearl.
Pearl.
But I remember, 1998, or let's say 99. Matt's probably right. I probably didn't see it until 99. Whatever. Comes out on video, rented immediately, and I'm like, Mojo. It's like the Leonardo DiCaprio meme where he's pointing at the TV and
Pointing
I just said, Mojo.
Yeah.
I did not see Pearl coming, which is crazy because you should. But
Well, Pearl's never coming. Pearl
not.
is a stationary character.
Oh, well, yeah, I didn't see. Yeah, you're right. I was going to see Pearl.
I also feel like, what's her name? Karen is so much more of a badass than I gave her credit for as a kid. Like I forgot about how gung-ho she is about murder.
She's into it.
Like she's like, oh, I'm gonna try and fix my problem and yours, Blade, by making this vampire this vampire vaccine. But she's also like, let's kill some guys in the process. She is so ready to go.
Let's crack some eggs.
Yes,
dog. Let's do this.
And she's the one who's torturing Pearl. It's not Blade at all. He looks at her at one point. He's just like, chill, girl. Like it's. So, without further ado, let's get into the synopsis, which probably for the vast majority of you, this is going to be old hat because I'm going to assume the best of you that you have all seen Blade at least once. You know how much of a banger this is. But for the uninitiated, in 1967, this woman is attacked by a vampire. She's pregnant. She goes to the hospital and goes into labor because of being bitten by the vampire. The doctors save the baby. Apparently cannot save her. Put a pin in that for later. That baby is born as Blade, the Daywalker, who has basically what is referred to by a number of other vampires during the course of the film as the best of both worlds. He has supernatural powers, like he has fast healing. He's faster, heightened reflexes. Also, he is immune to sunlight, like most vampires cannot be out in the sun, and he's super strong. But he also is left with with their weakness, which is the need to consume human blood. He has a buddy named Whistler, played by Chris Christopherson, who injects him with a serum to keep his vampire hunger at bay. It's garlic and silver, and he has Whistler, Chris Christopherson, is also a great weapons master and makes him all sorts of kick-ass weapons that are just covered in silver. They look so cool in the movie that, you know, I would want to be killing people with these as well. I mean, I'm not a murdering type. So we see the scene that we've all mentioned and love, where this guy is on a date with Traci Lords. She grabs his dick, and that's enough for him. He's like, I'll go wherever you want. She takes him to this blood rave, and this rave, and the sprinklers come on, and all these vampires are like rubbing what is, we assume, human blood, which is incredibly wasteful, but I guess that also tracks with what a vampire is. They're wasteful at their core, very selfish creatures. And he's about to become dinner for 50 to 100 vampires, which makes no sense because a vampire seems to be able to drain a human, at least one human, and still be ready to go. So it's more of they just want to watch this guy squirm a bit. Anyway,
super wasteful, dude. You're absolutely right.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's
come to
hundreds of gallons. That's meals on wheels
we're
right
talking
there.
about big blood, like it's big pharma for these vampires. We're talking about a whole corporation that is wasteful and horrible. The 1% here.
the B or the what's the universal donor? I don't know. I don't know blood types. OB, O positive, or OB is
I don't know the universal blood type either.
Yeah, I don't even know my blood type.
I don't know. I was just gonna say
I am in my mid 40s and I don't know my blood type. I'll have to ask when I go get my blood drawn tomorrow. Ironically, not a joke or a bit. I'm just getting a blood test tomorrow. Anyway, so Blade wastes everybody except for one guy, which he stabs with these silver covered stakes and chops off his hand rather, leaving the guy who Traci Lords groped alive when the police show up. The vampire gets away, tells Deacon Frost, who is this he owns the club. He's kind of like this bad boy. He's played by Steven Dorff, with an absolutely horrendous haircut, but
bad haircut,
but very sexy for '98, guys. Very sexy.
Yes. Yeah. Well, bad, contemporarily bad. '98. Oof. Gird your loins.
Yeah. The vampire does not get away. He gets burnt up, sent to the hospital by the police, wakes up, bites Karen. She's a hematologist, so she works with blood, and then jumps out a window because Blade shows up to finish him off. So Blade takes Karen to the safe house, meets Whistler. You get all the backstory of the fact that he's a daywalker, all the stuff I already went over, and they say that since she's been bitten by a vampire, they treated her, and she's got basically a 50% chance of turning into a vampire within the next couple days. They don't know if they caught it soon enough. So the idea is that she also is quote unquote marked, and a familiar shows up to try and grab her. He's a cop, and you kind of find out that the vampires of the city. I'm assuming it's New York City. Is this New York City?
It feels New York to me, but it could be a nondescript.
I mean,
sort of.
Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe
area.
they don't say. Maybe they say it in the movie, and I just missed it. But in any case, in the city with a capital C. So you see that they have their their fangs and everything. Frost is not a pure blood vampire, and so he is kind of looked down upon by the pure blood vampire elders, and he hates them for it. You kind of see this power dynamic between Frost and the elders. Frost has this idea that he's going to read the vampire Bible, and you realize that there's like this blood god that he is trying to resurrect. That is kind of the end goal of Deacon Frost's plan here. But he also knows about Blade now, and so he slathers himself in sunscreen, meets him out in the daylight, and says, like, we know about you and your little girlfriend Karen. I've got big plans. Whatever. They keep coming after Blade. I believe that Krieger is the name of the guy who keeps getting the shit beat out of him and having limbs lopped off by Blade. I love this character, by the way. Favorite secondary character in the movie.
Who Donald? Oh my God, Donald Luke. Is that who we're talking
about? Yeah, it's Donald Luke.
Yeah, Donald Luke. Yeah, so good, so good. Like, we don't get so many vampires have this air about them, this like prestige. And I don't think we get enough like dirtbag vampires, like, and when they're great. Like, fucking think Bill Paxton, like in Near Dark, great dirtbag vampire.
He's just a vampire dirtbag, baby. Like,
wrong Matt Kelly podcast, Matt Kelly.
Yeah, shit.
You know who?
He said the magic word, dirtbag.
You know who really wanted to be Donald Logue's character in this movie, in like literally everything he ever played, which is kind of ironic because there's a direct through line to Blade in Deadpool and Wolverine is T.J. Miller. Really wanted to play Donald Logue.
If he didn't try to blow up that train or whatever he did, he could have been a dirtbag vampire.
Listen, there was a lot of other things besides that train. He was just a dirtbag.
Yeah, I was about to say that kind of an intrinsic thing. He wasn't really playing a character.
It was that role. He was born to play that role because he sucks.
Yeah.
All natural.
Yeah. They have this plan that they're going to. So Frost is going to basically kill all of the Vampire Council. He kills. Oh my God! What is his name in the movie? Oh God! I should have done better research for that. Not even research, but oh my God!
The main like Udo the Kier. Head honcho of that corporation or whatever.
Udo Kier's character is Dragonetti. He's kind of like the CEO of the vampires. He gets to see the sunrise one last time, which is quite a badass scene if you ask me.
That is good.
And then they plan for this blood god resurrection ritual in a really cool underground temple. They bring Blade. They kill Whistler. They bring Blade to the temple. They use his blood to start this ritual, and then vampire bat demons come out of the mouths of every one of the Vampire Council. And I mean, it's cheesy CGI. It was cheesy CGI in '98, but if you just look at that like if it would be on a splash page in a comic book, chef's kiss.
It's pretty dope.
Super cool. The vampire bat demons all go into Frost, and he is now kind of like the Earth's embodiment of the blood god. And then he and Blade have a ridiculous fight, which is kicked off by my favorite quote in all of MCU, because like this is technically canon for MCU, when Blade goes, "Some motherfuckers are always trying to ice skate uphill."
Yes.
Then they fight. And then, I've failed to mention that Karen has created a secondary weapon for Blade. That's this liquid that makes vampire blood explode, and so he stabs
reaction.
Frost with all of them, like 6 of them. And then he's got one left, and then he like does a roundhouse kick and it hits him in the forehead, and then Frost explodes. The end. Awesome.
Yeah. Beautiful.
Oh, I forgot to mention that
of-
Pearl gets, like fried to death, but small potatoes compared to Deacon Frost getting a roundhouse kick to the serum to the forehead and exploding.
That ruled.
Yeah.
I mean, they don't. It is so true to form, comic book wise, right? It really does feel like a comic book has become a film in ratio. Like the closest. One of the closer versions of a comic book to movie sort of parallel.
Yeah.
Like not just utilizing the character to like go make a larger scale Marvel movie, but really playing with like what it feels like to be in a comic book. And I really appreciated that about Blade.
Yeah. No, and Scott, I've been trying to do this every once in a while when any of us do this, but fantastic work on summarizing a 2-hour movie in roughly 15 minutes without missing any major plot beats, which is A, a compliment to you, and B, a compliment to, or a criticism of how much loose extra shit is scattered amongst this movie.
Well, it's 2 hours long. What do you expect?
Yeah, exactly. There's
we've
there's a
forgotten
lot
that they
of
have
fat
that whole
be cut off
battle.
this steak.
They have that whole battle in like where all of those pieces of the vampire Bible are with the prophecy of the blood god, and everybody's getting like
13 Ghosts.
kicked through plate glass, and then they follow Blade to the subway, and Donald Logue, like, he gets his face chewed off by the side of a train. And I mean, there's a lot to love about this movie, but you really kind of just have to sit and exist with it. You can't be in a hurry.
Boy, do you.
That's why I watched this. So I watched this 1.5 times for this discussion, because what really put me over the edge, I completely forgot to mention this before going into the synopsis, is that we were on a flight back from California, and Blade was like an available movie, in-flight movie, and I was like, yeah, okay.
What a scenario in which you were able to do this. Sometimes we talk about watching a movie at 1.5 speed, and the other times we talk about watching 1.5 of a singular movie. It's amazing.
Put down that smartphone and listen to me. I'm Matthew Milligan, professional musician and lifelong Weird Al fan. Each week, I'm joined by professional podcaster and close personal friend Matt Kelly to take a dive off the deep end into the vast career of pop culture icon Weird Al Yankovic on our show, Weird Algorithm. Along with some very special guests from the worlds of music and comedy, we tackle every song, every television appearance, and every bit of sketch comedy Al has produced in chronological order, covering the good old days of My Bologna and Eat It, the fun zone of tacky and white and nerdy, and everything in between. As we go, we're ranking the songs, albums, and music videos in the hopes of creating the ultimate guide to a career bigger than the biggest ball of twine in Minnesota. So the next time you're having one of those days, stuck in a traffic jam, wondering why does this always happen to me, just kick off your sneakers and stick around for a while, because we've got it all on Weird Algorithm, available wherever you get your podcasts. And now you know. Was that enough references?
Meanwhile, in New Jersey...
So, Marissa, what talking points do you want to hit on in this week's episode?
Well, Jackie, let's talk about how the film addresses the patriarchy. Ooh, and representation of marginalized people. Ooh, and even philosophical ramifications of good versus evil in horror.
We can point out the triangle boobs, talk about the blood splatter, and the practical effects. And also the male gaze.
My gaze at the males.
Hi-yo! From feminism to fangirling, the Jersey Ghouls cover all the bases of horror from a woman's perspective.
New episodes are uploaded every other Sunday.
Just search Jersey Ghouls to find us on social media and your favorite podcasting app.
Do you like to laugh, geek out on music, and learn all about that band or artist who had that one song back in the day, but then seemed to fall off the face of the earth? If so, you need to subscribe to One Hit Thunder. Together with an array of interesting and hilarious guests, we do a weekly dive into one-hit wonders like Eiffel 65's Blue, Krayshawn's Gucci Gucci, EMF's Unbelievable, Delamitri's Roll to Me, Los Del Rio's Macarena, Musical Youth's Pass to Dutchie, and even Patrick Swayze's She's Like the Wind. So are you subscribed to One Hit Thunder or what? As Desiree would say, you gotta be. And as K7 would encourage, you gotta come, baby, come and join in on the fun of the One Hit Thunder podcast.
Come, baby, come, baby, baby, come, come.
Scott, if you were inviting some friends over for a Blade night, what would you put on after you're done watching Blade?
You know, there's only one thing that this movie is missing. It's Nazis getting killed by vampires. So I'm going to go with the delightful Blood Vessel.
All right.
Have you guys seen Blood Vessel? I've talked about it multiple times on this show.
I don't know. I don't remember that.
I don't think I've actually seen it, but
wow, it's not only a couple years old. Vessel. 2019. Okay, 7 years. Time flies, but great movie.
Blood Vessel?
Yeah.
So,
which is also a really funny name for a vampire movie, all right? Because it's all on, it's exclusively on a Nazi war boat in World War II. It's
Blood Vessel.
So good.
Incredible.
I'm going to go with a movie to get people out of my house. And it's going...
That's so unlike you, Matt.
It's so unlike me, but we already watched 2 hours of Blade. You've been here long enough. And I'm going to watch the movie that was apparently the alternate ending tip-off. We're going to put on Morbius from a couple years ago.
Oh, it's Morbin time.
It's Morbin time.
Are sadistic.
Because apparently there was an alternate ending shot where Morbius showed up in a post-credit sequence
for this movie.
Of this movie.
Wow.
For this movie in which the director played Morbius.
Wait, Stephen Norrington?
Like,
that totally fucking tracks, dude. He was like, you know what this movie needs? Me in makeup.
Well,
the
best I could assume is that he was like, I'm not going to pay an actor to show up for a 2-second cameo, so just throw me in the makeup and shoot me from the back.
Yeah. Well,
but so ahead of its time, though. Doing that in 98 would send everybody into a fucking, doing that present day would send everybody into a fucking frenzy. Doing that in 98 means that you get left on the cutting room floor because they're like, why did you do this?
You're really rolling the dice on how successful this was going to be in the first place.
Yeah. But also Iron Man made... It kind of is the albatross around the MCU's neck because they utilize the post-credit scene, like the mid-credit and post-credit scenes, so well in the early, like in Iron Man and Captain America Winter Soldier, or First Avenger, that there was no way for them... There's no way for them to get away from it now. It would have been great in 98 if we would have seen Morbius, but I feel like that would have been lost immediately when they did Blade 2, because I don't think Guillermo del Toro really wanted to do a Morbius and Blade movie, which would have been a Midnight Suns movie, which would have been sick because we would have had Ghost Rider, we could have done all that shit. But what's also funny is that when you think about, and we can eventually discuss Blade 2 on this show, like in earnest, but when you think about Blade 2 and that Guillermo del Toro directed it, did he write and direct it?
I think he
just directed it.
I think he just directed it.
I think Goyer, I thought Goyer wrote 2 as well.
Well, I know that
Goyer
directed 3.
Yeah.
It's funny because it feels like this like rolling, like, okay, you wrote the last one, you get to direct the next one, kind of weird. Anyway, but if you think about the like antagonist of Blade 2, it's the vampires from The Strain. I had never considered that until literally right now, because I never watched The Strain. But character design wise,
I've seen what they look
almost
like.
identical.
Yeah.
No, that's not false. Kyle, how about you, buddy? What would your double feature be with this bad boy?
So I had 2 when I was thinking about that. The one I'm going to give you the one I'm not going to go with first, and that's The Crow.
Okay.
Because I'm actually feeling really, really good about Twilight Saga Eclipse.
Is that the one with the baby?
I feel like Eclipse. I think it is. I've not gone.
Are
back
you going
in the
back?
lore
Are you going on vibes saying the one with the baby?
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. The one with the baby. I hope that it's Eclipse.
I'm backing this suggestion.
I was frantically trying to figure out which one it was.
I love this. I love how everything is happening right now.
Yeah. right this moment.
Well, while you're trying to figure out which one had the baby, maybe everyone else should hit up patreon.com/HMM podcast so you can see our pretty faces, get bonus episodes, get early access to these episodes, mostly commercial free. Support the show by buying some t-shirts, baby. HMN podcast.
Breaking Dawn was the baby.
HMMpodcast.dashery.com. Find us at HMN Podcast on pretty much every type of social media platform you can imagine, especially our letterbox. And I think that is most of the stuff I talk about. So unless either of you have something that you absolutely must talk about that's coming up, I think it's time to discuss the things that we watched, listened to, etc. Scott, this was your pick. You get to go first.
All right. So I've watched a lot of schlock. So for the next 2 weeks, I'm going to give you something that was garbage and something that was good.
All right.
So in keeping with the spirit of a comic book adaptation, I watched Sucker Punch again over the course of a couple nights, and I don't know if that actually was a comic book, but it wanted to be a comic book if it wasn't. It might have been a comic book afterwards. Yeah. That movie is irredeemable. It is still as bad as I remember it. And it's weird because have you guys noticed the trend of like Gen Z girls cosplaying characters from that movie? And like, it's kind of getting this like weird nostalgic, oh, it's good. Have you seen that happening?
I have not witnessed that, no.
Well, then you're lucky because I don't understand it. That the movie is pointless. It is still misogynistic as fuck. It is not. There's nothing good about it, and I can't imagine what trajectory everyone was on that agreed to it. Because it's like Jenna Malone, David Carradine, Gina Gershon, Isaac, Oscar Isaac. Like I'm forgetting all of the big names that were in it. I mean, like. I don't know how it got made. Anyway, it's an abhorrent movie. I wish that it wasn't on streaming services. It did help me get to sleep a couple nights in a row, though, so there's that.
Yeah, there's a very weird Geekscape connection with that movie.
Okay. Palate cleanser was rewatching Happy Death Day. I feel like I have gotten away from enjoying slasher movies, but that movie's just so good. It's just so good. I'm going to have to rewatch Happy Death Day 2U eventually in the near future and just wish that there was a third one because I could have a whole series of that.
Well, the director just said that he's finally thinks that he's cracked the code on how there can be a third one.
Awesome.
So we might, and you know what? I'm throwing this out there right now. If they announce a third Happy Death Day, this is one of those rare chances where I say, I don't give a shit if it hasn't been 10 years yet. We'll do the first Happy Death Day to tie into Happy Death Day 3 because God, that movie's so good.
Well, dude, so that's a 2017 movie. By the time Happy Death Day 3 comes out, even in the greatest possible timeline, it's still going to be 2027. So
that is true. Yeah, we should be all right no matter what. That is a very, very valid point. So I am not here to defend the undefendable, which is Sucker Punch. But I remember, so very weird piece of Geekscape lore, when that movie came out, Jonathan wrote a blog entry that was titled In Defense of Sucker Punch, which was not actually in defense of the movie, but it was how John first had a conversation with Diablo Cody, who was a fan of the article and shared it. Because John's whole thing was, hey, geek culture, all you do is tell executives that what you want is scantily clad women fighting dragons. And like you demand it. So he said something along the lines of, you demand it so much that a masterpiece like Jennifer's Body gets fucked up in its promotional materials to try to give you what you claim you want. And now someone has given you exactly what you've begged for, and now you're standing on a moral high ground that this is ridiculous. Like, and Diablo Cody like shared it, and she's like, someone's saying something that's true right now. Like, Hollywood's got a real misogyny problem But then suddenly when they give you what everyone says they want, you still shit about it. So like it was a very interesting take. I still think that movie's dog shit. I'm not sitting here saying it's good, but I do think that if you say, how did this get made? Because of dorks on the internet complaining about fucking everything, not living up to what the poster said it was supposed to be like.
So you're saying that people have the power, Matt.
Listen, people had the power to get I'm sick of these goddamn snakes on this motherfucking plane added into a movie that was originally shot to be PG-13. The internet in the early to mid 2000s was a shockingly powerful place.
No kidding.
Zack Snyder wrote and directed Sucker Punch. I didn't realize he wrote it.
Yeah.
But he is king of the fucking sexist geeks. That's
Yeah.
Fuck that guy.
It all clicks and makes sense. Yeah, it's a bummer. I'm going to talk about something that I think was a bummer in a different way. Because, man, did I see nothing but people shitting on this movie when it came out. But The Running Man finally dropped on streaming. And, I'm not going to sit here and say it's a top 10 movie, but that was a fun-ass little popcorn gore fest from Edgar Wright.
Oh, really?
That I had a ton of fun watching.
What did you watch it on? What streaming service?
It's one of the P's. It's either Peacock or Paramount. I can't remember which one. But I'm not sitting here saying it was a masterpiece. It's probably one of the bottom tier Edgar Wright movies, but I think even bottom tier Edgar Wright movies are still visually interesting to watch. This is him probably his most reined in, trying to do something more mainstream. But the satire was on point. The gore was a delight. The humor was there. I was like, this is a perfectly fine, 3 out of 5 star chaotic action movie that fit way more with what the original book was about. Because if you're for those of you who don't know,
that feels like The Running Man anyway.
Yeah.
I never expected or hoped that The Running Man would be this.
That's the thing. Are we really holding it to that high of a standard for the first movie?
Right.
But the first movie is a dumb 80s action movie that doesn't follow the source material one iota. Yeah. This one, at least, it's you're telling the story of a power struggle where the 1% weaponize the 99% to kill each other and tell on each other. And, they add in modern stuff using deep fake technology to make it seem like this genuinely good dude is actually someone that you should want to see killed to protect the sanctity of the higher. It tackles a lot of fun issues. I had a good time. Would I actively buy it and rewatch it? Maybe not, but if I walked into someone's house and they were watching it, I'd be like, oh shit, this movie's fun. And I would sit down and watch it again. I didn't hate for how people, this was on so many people's bottom of the year list. And to that I say, if this is in your bottom 10, you watched under 20 movies last year. Because there was some real dog shit that got released last year.
Yeah. That seems crazy.
Yeah, so I just say justice for The Running Man, which was a perfectly fine movie.
I'm going to talk about some music I was listening to. I saw, I wanted to go see Bane play.
What?
Bridge 9. Yeah. Well, I went to go film Bane play at Bridge 9 Records.
That's pretty sick.
Up in Massachusetts.
Nice.
Which is very cool. Bane fucking rules. That was awesome. The opening band was a band on Iodine Records called Hundreds of AU. And they have an album out called Life is Parallel. Yeah, Life in Parallel. Excuse me, Life in Parallel.
Okay.
And I've been listening to it a couple times now, just front to back. Melodic hardcore out of New Jersey. I think it's their 5th album, but they've rotated through some members and just really great music. I think if you're into melodic hardcore, 5-minute songs that still have some of that hardcore mentality and content, but have sometimes their beats also feel a little almost mathcore-y, I feel like they weave a little bit of that in there too.
Matt's ears perked up. By the way, Matt,
I do love me some mathcore, baby.
It has ex-members of the Banner is the only band that I know, but from this. But like, if they sound like the Banner, I'm into it.
Mm-hmm. I thought it was great. I mean, I'm not necessarily of that world. Mm-hmm. I like the music, but I don't know a lot about it. And they weren't supposed to open. A band called Love Letter was supposed to open, but something happened with the lead singer, and they had to pull out like with days before this Bane show was gonna happen. And Hundreds of AU came in and really set the tone. I thought they were great, and Life in Parallel's a really solid album. So I've had that on. They came out last year. I just caught it this year, but it's pretty solid.
Fuck yeah.
Cool.
Well, also pretty solid, Horror Movie Night. So subscribe, like, share, and stay tuned for more episodes every Thursday night.
Put down that smartphone and listen to me. I'm Matthew Milligan, professional musician and lifelong Weird Al fan. Each week, I'm joined by professional podcaster and close personal friend Matt Kelly to take a dive off the deep end into the vast career of pop culture icon Weird Al Yankovic on our show, Weird Algorithm. Along with some very special guests from the worlds of music and comedy, we tackle every song, every television appearance, and every bit of sketch comedy Al has produced in chronological order, covering the good old days of My Bologna and Eat It, the fun zone of tacky and white and nerdy, and everything in between. As we go, we're ranking the songs, albums, and music videos in the hopes of creating the ultimate guide to a career bigger than the biggest ball of twine in Minnesota. So the next time you're having one of those days, stuck in a traffic jam, wondering why does this always happen to me, just kick off your sneakers and stick around for a while, because we've got it all on Weird Algorithm, available wherever you get your podcasts. And now you know. Was that enough references?
Meanwhile, in New Jersey...
So, Marissa, what talking points do you want to hit on in this week's episode?
Well, Jackie, let's talk about how the film addresses the patriarchy. Ooh, and representation of marginalized people. Ooh, and even philosophical ramifications of good versus evil in horror.
We can point out the triangle boobs, talk about the blood splatter, and the practical effects. And also the male gaze.
My gaze at the males.
Hi-yo! From feminism to fangirling, the Jersey Ghouls cover all the bases of horror from a woman's perspective.
New episodes are uploaded every other Sunday.
Just search Jersey Ghouls to find us on social media and your favorite podcasting app.
You're listening to the Geekscape Network.